What's up guys, David Trebek here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm going to be discussing their chances in the Eastern Conference and if they're actually title favorites or not. So before we actually get into this video, make sure to go leave a like, make sure to go subscribe for more consistent NBA content. These NBA videos have actually been picking up a little bit of traction the past 3 videos, so I'm going to be doing more NBA content, and I'm going to be constantly trying to make these videos better for you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to subscribe down below. Make sure to leave a like I said. And let's hop right into this video. So the 76ers were actually really active in this year's offseason. Obviously, with the addition of Daryl Morey, you can expect that. We've seen in the past with Daryl Morey that he's very active. He's not afraid to pull the trigger on trades, on signings, on really anything when it comes to building the best team possible. You look at Houston in the past, of course, Daryl Morey signing Chris Paul, trading for Russell Westbrook. He's not afraid to make big moves. And while the Sixers haven't made necessarily any big moves to get any big name stars, I think the 76ers have made some important moves that are definitely showing that they're going in the right direction. Lots of times, like last year, for example, when we looked at this Philadelphia 76ers team, they added Al Horford. Yes, they lost Jimmy Butler, they lost JJ Redick, but they added Al Horford, they added Josh Richardson, they locked up Tobias Harris, and we looked at the talent, we looked at it on paper, and we said, oh, this team's, I remember before the beginning of last season, tons of people were saying that the Sixers were going to be an easy 1 seed. Lots of them had them as the favorites to come out of the East and even favorites to win the championship. Lots of times us as NBA fans, we look at the talent on paper and we assume it's going to be better than it actually is on court. Obviously, that team had no shooting on it whatsoever. Those pieces did not fit together at all. When you actually put those players out on the court, they do not play good together. So it might be the same with this, but this team definitely, it doesn't look as good on paper talent-wise as last year's Sixers team. But the fit, you can just already tell Daryl Morey knows what he's doing with this team. So let's look at some of these key additions here. Obviously, they traded Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. Now, Josh Richardson, of course, he's a good player. That was kind of maybe their Jimmy Butler replacement, a lesser Jimmy Butler. But he did struggle in Philly. You look at his stats here. He averaged almost 17 points per game in Miami in 18-19. But when he moved to Philly, his numbers went down, 13 points per game, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, not as efficient, shot about 34% from 3, 43 from the field. Josh Richardson may have disappointed a little bit with this Sixers team. I don't know why they thought he was going to be able to fill that hole that Jimmy Butler left. They might have thought Tobias Harris could have done that as well. So Josh Richardson, like I said, he's a good player, but it's not like you're losing someone that you can't replace. Now, is Seth Curry a replacement for Josh Richardson? No, they're completely different players. But you are getting Seth Curry, a guy that shot 45% from 3 last year. He was, 3rd best in the NBA for 3-point shooting percentage behind Matt Thomas and JJ Redick. So obviously he's a Curry. He can shoot the 3, and that is exactly what this team needs. I can't wait to see, hopefully, JJ Redick or Seth Curry is able to mimic what JJ Redick had with Joel Embiid. The handoffs, having Seth on this team is just going to open the spacing up so much for this team. And they also got off of Al Horford's contract as well, which is great to see. They traded Al Horford for Danny Green and Terrence Ferguson, of course. I think Terrence Ferguson is actually a pretty underrated part of that trade. He's an athletic guy. I'm pretty sure he won the dunk contest, so he's got hops. Obviously, he hasn't lived up to the potential yet, but he could be a project for the Sixers. And Danny Green, of course, he gets memed on a lot, but he has championship experience. He plays good defense. He can't shoot the 3 like he used to, but he's still a decent 3-point shooter at about league average. He shot 36% last year. So you add Seth Curry, you add Danny Green, you add shooting, which is what this team needed desperately going into this offseason, considering that your point guard doesn't shoot 3s at all, considering Tobias Harris has kind of fallen off with his 3-point shooting. They just don't have that many great 3-point shooters, so picking up Danny Green and Seth Curry definitely helps with that. And they also added Dwight Howard as well, another guy with now championship experience, a guy that brings energy off the bench, plays good defense, and they actually have a good backup center. I believe last year their backup center would have been Al Horford at times, of course, but they had Kyle O'Quinn too. If you have Kyle O'Quinn as your backup center, that's not a good recipe for winning basketball games. So now they have Dwight Howard coming off the bench at that 5 spot, which I think is a really great pickup for this team. Like I said, he's a vet. He brings championship experience now, so we'll see how that works. They also drafted a couple of pretty good guards that I'm actually pretty interested in. They drafted Theo Maledon in the second round, and they drafted Tyrese Maxey in the first round with the 21st pick. 2 guards, of course, and that just improves their guard depth even more. They already have Matisse Thybulle. They have Ben Simmons, which I guess is a guard, Danny Green, Seth Curry. So they got a bunch of good guards now, and Tyrese Maxey, he can come off the bench with Shake Milton, provide some defense off the bench there. So yeah, overall, I'm just really liking how the 76ers team is looking. Like I said before, the talent level, I wouldn't say is on the same level as last year's team, but the fit just makes so much more sense. You actually have shooting around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. The only part that I'm kind of concerned about with this team is they don't really have like a shot creator. I mean, maybe, I'm guessing Tobias Harris is going to have to be your primary shot creator because Ben Simmons, unless he's right at the rim, he can't really create his own shot. Danny Green can't do it. Seth Curry can't do it. Those guys are spot-up shooters. Furkan Korkmaz, another shooter. So you're going to have to rely on Tobias Harris probably if you need a shot late in the shot clock, or Joel Embiid, of course. He can always do his thing in the paint. So that's my main concern with this team really is with Ben Simmons' lack of shooting, they don't really have like a go-to guy that they can go to late in the shot clock, late in the game, where he can get a bucket from anywhere. Obviously, you have Joel Embiid, but with his health, we don't really know what he's gonna be. He struggled in the bubble. Like, I don't really know with Joel Embiid anymore, so we have to see how he responds to his struggles in the bubble. That just rhymed. Bars! Yeah, that's one part on the basketball court that I'm a little bit worried about, but I feel like it's gonna work out. This is almost like what the Bucks did with Giannis. Giannis, obviously great at getting into the paint, and they surrounded Giannis with shooters. And Ben Simmons, lots of people call Ben Simmons a Giannis light. So surrounding Ben Simmons with these shooters is definitely going to help this team. And defensively, I don't really think they lost that much. Josh Richardson's obviously a great defender, better than Seth Curry. But Danny Green, like I said, Danny Green is an experienced vet who knows how to play smart defense. And they have Matisse Thybulle in the starting lineup there. So they got still a bunch of good defenders. So I feel like defensively, they're still going to be close to the top of the league. And offensively, I think they got better. More spacing, more shooting. And they got Doc Rivers. Obviously, he disappointed in the playoffs this past year. He's disappointed in the playoffs quite a bit, so hopefully that doesn't happen with the 76ers team. But Doc Rivers still great coach. He has championship experience. He's a championship coach. So I'm interested to see what Doc Rivers can do with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I think if things don't work out this year, this might be the last season of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I think Daryl Morey isn't scared to trade one of them. I think if they disappoint in the playoffs, I think Daryl Morey would be willing to trade either Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid and choose either one of them to build around. But right now, I like where they're going. Their starting lineup right now is going to be Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. So I like that starting lineup. And then you got Seth Curry coming off the bench. You could even start Seth Curry. It's just defensively, he's not the best. I like this lineup. I like it a lot better than last year's. I like what Daryl Morey's doing. And hopefully this team can actually do something in the playoffs this year and not get swept in the first round. So that's my thoughts on this team. Let me know if you guys think they're contenders in the East. I think they're contenders. To make the finals, definitely. I think this team just makes so much more sense. Fit-wise, talent-wise, it might not be as good, but in terms of the fit, it's on a whole nother level compared to last year's team. So those are my thoughts on the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me know your thoughts down below, like I said. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for more NBA content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.